Not every great restaurant has a Michelin star, but after eating here, I genuinely don't understand why this one doesn't. This is Tuna in Warsaw, Poland. Hi guys, I'm Anya and I review restaurants around the world. From Michelin star dining to unique places that really stand out for their food and creativity. It's actually been quite some time since I last visited Tuna. Since then, I've had the chance to eat at many incredible restaurants, some of the best restaurants in the world. But somehow, the tasting menu at Tuna is still one of the meals I keep thinking about. Because of that, I wouldn't feel fair not to include Tuna in my reviews. And I wanted to include it before moving to some of my newer restaurant experiences. Tuna is the restaurant of Martin Jimenez Castro, one of the most well-known chefs in Poland, and the winner of the first Polish edition of Top Chef in 2013. He's also behind Ceviche Bar, one of the most popular restaurants in Warsaw, and honestly both Ceviche Bar and Tuna are among my favorite places to eat in the city. The food here focuses on seafood with clear Latin American influences. Tuna is located in Powiśle, one of the most vibrant areas of Warsaw. Powiśle sits between the city center and the Vistula River and has become one of the most enjoyable parts of the city to spend time in. There are great restaurants, bars, cafes, and during the summer especially, the whole area becomes very lively. Inside Tuna, the interior is very modern with wooden tables, dark tones, and simple furniture. The walls are covered with dark tiles shaped like fish scales, which is a fitting reference to the restaurant's focus on seafood. When you walk in, one of the first things you notice is a display showing some tuna cuts, which immediately shows what the focus of the restaurant is. The open kitchen is slightly further back, so you don't see everything happening, but from time to time, you can watch the chefs plating the dishes. Tuna offers both an a la carte menu and a tasting menu. I've actually tried both over the years, but today I'm going to talk about the tasting menu experience. Currently, Tuna offers a 6-course tasting menu for 470 zloty and an 8-course tasting menu for 570 zloty. When we visited, we had the 8-course tasting menu, which of course was very different from the one being served today. But honestly, knowing Martin's cooking, I can only imagine the current menu is even better. The meal started with an amuse-bouche of paprika szczeciński, prepared by Martin himself. Paprika szczeciński is a traditional Polish spread from the city of Szczecin. I actually grew up eating it because my parents are from that part of Poland. When I was little, whenever my dad drove to Poland, he would always bring cans of paprikash back with him to Norway. So seeing paprikash appear in a fine dining tasting menu was something I really didn't expect. The flavors were unmistakably paprikash, but obviously fresher and much better than the canned version. The first course of the tasting menu was scallop ceviche served with melon. The dish was extremely fresh and very well balanced. The sommelier paired this course with vermentino, which matched the dish very well. Then came another ceviche, this time made with corvina. Corvina is a type of sea bass that's often used in Latin American ceviche because of its firm texture and clean flavor. The dish was beautifully presented and just as fresh. This course was paired with a Lake Chalice Sauvignon Blanc, which complemented the flavors of the fish very nicely. Next came one of the tuna dishes, a bluefin tuna tartare served with beetroot, wild broccoli in black tempura, beetroot sauce, and Siberian caviar from Antonius. The beetroot played a central role here. For me, it immediately brought strong associations with Polish cuisine, since beetroot is used in many traditional Polish dishes. The sweetness and earthiness of the beetroot worked surprisingly well with tuna, while the crispy tempura broccoli added texture. The caviar added depth and a subtle saltiness. The course was paired with chablis, which worked beautifully. Another course followed, this time a tuna tataki.
Yeah, so now we have the tuna tataki. It's a slice, and between you have the fresh cheese with the smoked olive oil. And we have also the kohlrabi puree. The chips is made of young potato. And here I have the consomme of burnt vegetables.
The flavors were deep, but still very balanced. The smoky elements added depth, while the fresh cheese and kohlrabi kept the dish balanced. Everything on the plate worked together naturally. This course was paired with a Gyotaku style wine, which matched it extremely well. Next came a beef carpaccio with fermented garlic aioli, watercress, and summer black truffle. The beef was sliced incredibly thin and melted in the mouth. The fermented garlic added a deep umami flavor, and there was also a generous amount of truffle on the dish, which gave it a lot of richness. This course was paired with Barbera di Alba, which matched the dish very well. The next dish and the first main course was grilled octopus served with beetroot risotto. And for me, this was by far the dish that stood out the most. The octopus was cooked perfectly, incredibly tender, and the risotto underneath was rich and very creamy with a deep beetroot flavor. Honestly, it might be the best risotto I've ever had. I never would have expected beetroot risotto with octopus to work this well together, but the flavors and the textures were just incredible. And with the beetroot appearing again in the dish, it once more brought in flavors that felt very familiar from Polish cooking, creating a kind of unexpected fusion. This course was paired with Tito Rosé 2021. The final savory course was grilled tuna steak served with fermented fish broth and local vegetables. The tuna steak was cooked beautifully, with great texture and flavor. This course was paired with Tres Picos garnacha. And finally, for desserts, we had raspberry sorbet. And considering that I'm usually not really interested in desserts, this was once again a great match for my taste. The service at Martin's restaurants has always been outstanding. Martin himself is an incredibly kind and welcoming person. Every time I visited one of his restaurants, I've always felt genuinely welcomed, which makes the experience even more enjoyable. The staff and, of course, Martin himself explained the dishes clearly and with enthusiasm. And the sommelier, Mateusz Jaworski, is fantastic. His explanations about the wines are detailed and thoughtful, and the pairings are always extremely well chosen. What really stands out to me at Tuna are the flavors. Dish after dish, the combinations are interesting, unexpected, and simply very good. At the same time, the level of cooking here is clearly very high, and there's a lot of creativity in the way Martin combines seafood and Latin American influences with small touches that sometimes connect to flavors from Polish cuisine. For me, that combination made the whole experience feel very personal because some of the flavors felt very familiar to me from the food I grew up eating. At the same time, it also brings together things I personally love: great seafoods, Latin American flavors, and fine dining, which makes this kind of fusion especially exciting for me. Both tuna and ceviche bar are recommended in the Michelin Guide, but after experiencing the tasting menu here, I personally believe that tuna deserves a Michelin star. And that brings us to the end of this review. If you enjoy discovering restaurants like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button because there are many more restaurant reviews and other contents coming. And if you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel to grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.